With free agents like the NBA's league leader in three-point percentage last season, Seth Curry, as well as Boston legend Al Horford, and a key cog to the Warriors' 12-3 start last season, De'Anthony Melton, all waiting in the wings and waiting for the Kuminga situation to end, the Golden State Warriors may have figured it out after all. The drama with JK is real, as the Dubs have extended 2 solid offers in recent weeks, both of which Kuminga has rejected. Therefore, it's looking increasingly likely that JK will sign his qualifying offer and become an unrestricted free agent next summer, according to Mark Stein. Kuminga has until October 1st to make his final decision. But given the Dubs reportedly have handshake deals lined up with some of 2025's top available free agents, that speaks volumes to how Mike Dunleavy's operated under the radar. If the rumor about the Warriors' handshake free agent deals are accurate, this would make the Warriors a significantly more dangerous threat in 2025-26, especially because of the wing defense provided by an absolute lockdown menace in De'Anthony Melton. That said, as stated by diehard Warrior fan Jim Park, quote, "I've always felt Seth Curry was underrated, but how many short guys does this team need? Curry 6'1", Melton 6'2", GP2 6'2", Curry 6'2", Hield 6'4", Pod 6'4". That's 6 rotational players who are 6'4" or shorter. At what point will this dumb team stop giving Kerr midget options?" End quote. That's a great point by Jim, and to add to his point, the Warriors ranked 15th out of 16th in defensive rebounding per game among teams in the 2025 NBA playoffs. That said, if they end up signing him, directly helping that rebounding cause is the man of many names. Alfred Joel Horford Reynoso, the Godfather, Big Al, whatever you want to call him, the Boston Celtics legend has achieved basically everything a player can in the National Basketball Association. He's become an all-rookie, an all-NBA player, a 5-time All-Star, an all-defensive team player, and of course, an NBA champion in 2024. Horford's averaged 8 rebounds per game over the course of his career, and while he's not the tallest power forward / modern-day center at 6'9", Al's positioning, activity level, and communication on the glass are nevertheless invaluable, showing themselves in ways the box score can't measure. If Golden State inks Al Horford, he becomes the internal anchor next to Draymond Green the Warriors have lacked. He's not going to out-athlete younger bigs in a sprint, but his strengths lie in positioning, fundamentals, and elite spatial awareness. Across his career, Horford's been a steady presence on the defensive glass and in help rotations. His career defensive rating sits around 105.5, showing that when he's on the court, he helps keep the defense in balance. His defensive rebound percentage is 15.9%, meaning he grabs nearly 16% of available defensive boards while he's on the floor. In a lineup where the Warriors were previously 15th out of 16 teams in defensive rebounding during the 2025 playoffs, Horford's presence could shift that narrative. His floor spacing, ability to hit threes when left open, combined with his experience in switching and communication, gives Kerr more flexibility in how he counters mismatches. Bringing De'Anthony Melton back into the fold gives the Warriors something they haven't had consistently since their peak death lineup years: a prime Klay Thompson-esque defensive shooting guard who can clamp up. Melton's 6'2" frame belies his 6'9" wingspan, which allows him to contest shots, jump passing lanes, and disrupt pick and rolls far beyond what his height suggests. He averaged 1.6 steals per game in Philadelphia in 2022-23, and still posted above-average steal and deflection rates in limited minutes last season, metrics that the Warriors sorely lacked in their second unit. His ability to toggle between point-of-attack defense and off-ball roaming lets Steve Kerr switch more freely without giving up blow-by lanes. Melton isn't just a defensive specialist. Offensively, he's hit 36% of his career threes on decent volume, making him a credible catch-and-shoot threat when defenses collapse on Steph. He also pushes pace and makes hockey assists, moving the ball quickly and keeping Golden State's motion offense flowing. In lineups with multiple shooters, his slashing and passing becomes even more valuable because he's rarely the focal point, yet he adds incremental advantages every possession. Bringing Melton back is essentially plugging an old gear back into a machine that already knows how to use it, which could quietly swing several regular season and playoff games in the Warriors' favor. Adding Seth Curry is like turning up the volume on the Warriors' signature weapon: spacing. Last season, he led the NBA in three-point percentage at nearly 45%, and over his career, he's been one of the most efficient shooters in the league from deep. Unlike some shooters who need time and space, Seth has a lightning-quick release and is comfortable firing off movement, which fits perfectly into Steve Kerr's motion-heavy system. His presence next to Steph creates constant off-ball confusion for defenses, run a double pin down for one Curry, and the other might pop free on the weak side. Beyond just hitting shots, Seth also understands the nuances of cutting and relocating, which helps keep Golden State's offense dynamic instead of static. He's an underrated ball handler who can run a secondary pick and roll or push in transition, easing the load on Steph and Draymond as primary playmakers. His familiarity with the Curry family work ethic also means buy-in won't be an issue. He's a culture fit who already knows how to thrive off ball. Even with the team's glut of smaller guards, Seth's elite efficiency and gravity force opponents to stay home, which opens up driving lanes for slashers, making him more than just a short shooter on paper, but a true offensive multiplier. When you zoom out, it's clear this isn't just a random collection of names, it's a calculated reshaping of the Golden State Warriors. Al Horford brings playoff poise, defensive rebounding, and high IQ floor spacing to a team that was dead last in the postseason on the glass. De'Anthony Melton returns with his 6'9" wingspan and relentless ball pressure, something the Warriors lost when their perimeter defense slipped over the last 2 years. Seth Curry, the league's three-point percentage leader, provides elite shooting and movement that doubles down on the Warriors' biggest identity. These aren't flash moves to distract from the Kuminga drama, they're functional chess pieces Mike Dunleavy's lined up to complement Steph, Draymond, and Jimmy. Even with a rotation that skews small, the skill sets they're adding check boxes the team has been missing. Veteran leadership, elite spacing, and point-of-attack defense can mask some size disadvantages when deployed properly. In other words, the front office isn't ignoring the problem, it's attacking it with a different kind of solution. That's how you quietly retool a contender while everyone else is looking at headline trades. The concern about too many short guys is valid on paper, but history shows that Golden State's best lineups weren't necessarily the tallest, they were the smartest and most connected. By pairing Horford's rebounding and positional defense with Melton's perimeter hounding and Seth's gravity, the Warriors essentially create a defense that starts at the arc and a rebounding committee rather than relying on one rim protector. Kerr can stagger minutes so that Draymond and Horford anchor key stretches while shooters stretch the floor. Melton allows for full court pressure and seamless switching, reducing the kind of open looks that killed them in transition last season. Seth gives them the off-ball release valve that keeps the offense humming even when Steph sits, which has been one of the biggest Achilles heels since 2019. And with so many guards who can shoot or slash, Golden State can push tempo back to the levels that made them dangerous in their dynasty years. This is how you turn a perceived weakness into a mismatch for the opponent. When you're forcing bigger, slower teams to chase movement and defend 5 3-point threats at once, height starts to matter a lot less. So as we wrap up, don't get lost in the noise about Kuminga's contract. What's really happening is a front office betting on intelligence, versatility, and proven veterans to extend the window of one of the NBA's most iconic cores. Al Horford's championship experience, De'Anthony Melton's defensive motor, and Seth Curry's all-time shooting touch aren't just incremental upgrades. They're identity pieces that restore the Warriors' DNA. This roster may look unconventional on a spreadsheet, but on the floor it's built to move, shoot, defend, and outthink opponents possession by possession. If Dunleavy can close out these handshake deals and Kerr can deploy the pieces with his usual creativity, Golden State could roll into the 2025-26 season as one of the league's most frustrating matchups again. And that, more than any headline about Kuminga, is why the Warriors' story isn't over yet. The dynasty may not look the same, but the blueprint for a dangerous reinvention is right there in front of us. Don't be surprised if the rest of the league learns again what happens when you underestimate Golden State.